So, am I right in thinking there's nobody else in this house? No. Then there is someone else in this house. Sorry, I said no meaning yes. No meaning yes? Look, I want a straight answer. Is there someone else in this house? Yes or no? No. No, there is? Or no, there isn't? Yes.
I thought you were going to do...
I was, but I had a curveball.
Especially because he died.
Uh-huh.
That was sad. But Colonel Mustard is no longer with us anymore. I really liked him. I don't know if you watch any of the shows. Well, I don't think you watch any of the shows I've seen him in. Well, he was in Psych, right?
Mm-hmm. He was in Psych.
He was in Life in Pieces for quite a bit of episodes, and I love that show. He was in this show that I'm using as a filler show right now called Not Dead Yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good, but it's not terrible either.
Uh-huh.
But he was in that. He's the first ghost, which is ironic.
Oh, that's interesting.
Who haunts this person. But yeah, Clue is a great, wonderful show.
Yeah. I like it. I think it has, when we talk about rewatchability, I think it has massive rewatchability.
Yep.
He's in Jingle All the Way.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who is he in Jingle All the Way? I haven't seen that.
He plays a DJ in the radio station that where Arnold comes in and tries to get a or tries to win that Turbo Man doll.
Oh, okay.
By calling in to name all the reindeer.
I haven't seen Jingle All the Way since the 90s.
I know. He's also in Arrested Development, where he was playing a private detective that the Bluth mom would constantly hire, and he would just kind of come out of nowhere and she would just scream, and that's what she based off him being actually a good detective, and he actually wasn't.
He was also the principal on Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I did hear about that. I never enjoyed Sabrina. Our dad did, but I did not.
Dad did, and because Dad really liked the cat.
The cat was clever and fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. All right.
All right. Well, I guess with that, we will get to our merit badges and our Court of Honor of Merit badges.
All right, merit badges. What do we got?
All right. Well, first of all, do you want to introduce us?
Oh, sorry. I am Brett. I am the Professor Plum of...
You're Christopher Lloyd?
I'm Christopher Lloyd.
I'm just going to go out and say my own.
All right. To my right is the Wadsworth of the podcast.
Tim.
Timmy. Tim Curry. Tim.
And
you have the same initials.
The butler.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And to my left,
as far as males go, there's Mr. Green and Colonel Mustard.
Yeah. I'm going to go with...
Or I'm the guy, my car broke down. Yeah. I need to use your phone.
Let's see.
That's such a good movie.
It is.
I don't know what to do with this. I'll just go with the Professor or Colonel Mustard of the podcast.
Okay. I would accept Professor Plum. I mean, Mr. Green just fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to go home and sleep with my wife. Which always left me at the very end of the movie going,
so
what are you? Like, are you still playing that card for the FBI, or were you lying to everybody? Like what?
Was his whole facade just a facade?
Exactly.
Or was there truth to it?
That's the question. All right, merit badge time.
All right. So I will start off with my first merit badge, and that is Sign Flipper Persuasion. Now, in previous podcasts, I've made mention that I have accidentally or near gotten into car accidents because of the distraction of sign flippers.
Yep, I remember that.
They've never persuaded me to want to buy a house. They have never persuaded me to go get my taxes done by them. However,
would you be persuaded by an animatronic sign saying "Buy my book"?
Possibly. However, there is this one. It was a rainy day in Utah, because most of the sign flippers have been, the great ones have been in California.
The great one.
Yeah.
Ooh, the great ones.
Yeah.
We behold them.
It's an art.
But I was driving a couple of weeks ago, and there's a sign. Like, I wasn't sure what I was seeing. Like, not only was he good at flipping the signs, but he was like, salsa dancing with this sign. He was, at one point in time, you would think he was possibly grinding with this sign. It was
awkward.
And it was all done in the rain. And I was like, what are you selling? I am fascinated. And then
what was he wearing?
So
in the rain.
So it was interesting because I was trying to figure out where this business was, because I really was, not only was the skill really interesting, but also the sign, it said 50% off. And I'm sitting there thinking, you are salsa dancing with this sign. You are possibly grinding this sign. You are throwing this up in the air and ramming it and flipping it around your back. Like, I'm impressed. And I was looking at his hat, and I was looking at his golf shirt, trying to figure out where he was, because it was 50% off wherever it was. And I'm like, I got a fantastic show and 50% off. I think I might have to do this. And right in the location where I was, there's 2 pizza places, and it was 50% off your pizza for this weekend or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, which is it? And it was really confusing because he was wearing a blue hat. I'm like, Domino's. But he was wearing a red polo shirt, which
Pizza
Hut. I'm still, and because I got confused, because there was no definitive like Pizza Hut or Domino's, unless I inspected him and just kind of walked up to him, and I wasn't about to do that. I wanted to give this sign guy, like this company, 50% of my money to whatever it is.
50% of your money.
Exactly. Or 50% of whatever it costs or whatever. Not the whole price. But because of this fantastic show in the rain, I wanted to, support this company. But the color scheme kind of, let it down, and I didn't know what to do. So I just drove on. But I've never...
But you would have.
I would have had it...
You would have bought pizza?
I would have bought pizza because of the wow factor.
And for those who don't know, Brett does not really enjoy pizza.
No, I do not. But
so,
yeah,
I
was wowed. So I got the Sign Flipper Persuasion Merit Badge.
I'm wondering if, I assume that these are contractors, right? They're not full-time employees or whatever for this company. I imagine when they go down to negotiations, it's going to be $20 an hour for me to hold a sign. But if you want the dancing special, it's going to cost you $30 an hour.
Do you think they work on commission?
Deluxe package.
Yeah, they work off commission. And that's where all the thrusting came from. He had to get those cars in.
Uh-huh.
Or also, this could have been the best practical joke ever. He was wearing a split between the 2 companies behind him, neither of them which were going to have a 50% on in-store. So that's why he was so ambiguous.
That would be quite the scheme, having on one side the sign for this place you're working, and another side another store you're working for as well.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh,
double
dipping.
Yep, that'd be
yeah.
All right, my turn.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't even, you know what? When I wrote this down, I didn't even think about what to call this, but I'm going to call it I use my fire extinguisher. I don't know. My merit badge, which I have never used one my entire life until now. And it was kind of nonchalant too, because I was using, so we have a fancy microwave, which I love my microwave so much, because most of the time you hit start, it senses the food, you walk away, you come back, it's done. It can sense when it's done always, which is wonderful. Because I hate pushing numbers, even stuff that's microwavable, and then it says put it in for 2 minutes and 35 seconds. You're like, sense. Anyway, this also has the functionality of having a broiler and air fryer in it and all that stuff. So I went to broil something, and it wasn't broiling for very long, and then it was taquitos, and then they caught on fire. But my hunch is that all the time that we have used this microwave, we have not like used the broiler setting. And so I think it's built up some grease at the top.
Oh.
And then the broiler just got so hot that it started on fire. And so there's a full on active fire in my microwave. And so I'm like, where's the fire extinguisher? I find it. I shoot it at. I pull out my food first.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it was an emergency, but not that big.
Exactly.
Of an emergency.
And then I shoot it at it, and then all's good. I immediately clean it up because if you've ever done one before, it's a mess. Like when you shoot the fire extinguisher crap everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, well, either this microwave's dead or it's fine. And it's been completely fine. Been using it for a couple weeks now. And
does it have a smoky smell?
No, it's like it never happened.
Wow.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
So maybe you just discovered a new setting on the microwave.
Fire.
It is like
charred.
What is it called when like a chef like
Torched?
Torched. Yes, it's torched.
We put it on the torch setting.
Yeah. I just didn't know I had one.
That's advanced.
Oh, I hit the creme brulee setting. Oops.
It's very similar to the Home Alone. What happens to
Microwaves have come a long way.
yeah. All right, Curdle, you're up.
Well, one of my merit badges. I'm calling this one "What I Do in the Shadows."
Ooh.
I don't know if I want to know what you do in the shadows.
So you guys remember from weeks ago when we talked about one of my curses, merit badge of being stuck behind large semis.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, I took it upon myself to break the curse, and so instead of always being tailing behind them, I've been managing to get to the side of them, and I just stick in their shadow when the sun's blaring down.
Oh, there you go.
And I ride their shadows until I get almost all the way home.
That's nice.
Nice.
Do you ever go underneath it like on like on Fast and Furious?
Well, when I activate my car to go down further to the ground, then
Yeah.
I can do that.
Okay.
And then I have to hit the NOS.
Oh, I just love every once in a while I think about that while driving, going, there's no way people could fit underneath here. This is such a ridiculous concept, but you know what? It's fun.
But it's family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a family. All right, Brett, back to you.
All right. So this is a hard merit badge to acknowledge, and it's also kind of a hard one to name. This is, I guess the best way to say it is the loss. Okay. The loss of one of my favorite movies dropping off my favorite list.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, it was devastating. So one of my favorite movies is Scott Pilgrim versus the World. From the moment I watched it, in the theater, I thoroughly loved it. The instant it came out on DVD, I bought it. I will watch it probably about once a year, if not twice a year, because I just enjoy it so much. So near the beginning of June, I was, showing my kid some of the good movies that he's not seen. And I was just like, let's watch Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And as we're sitting there watching it, and maybe, I don't know, just watching it not as a single person, not watching it just or whatever, I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, Scott Pilgrim is a dick. Like he doesn't deserve any good stuff. He is not a good person. And I'm sitting there thinking, how have I never noticed that he's not a good person? Like I've noticed certain things, and I'm just like, this is funny. This is quirky funny.
Well, like how he treats that
the
girlfriend.
Yeah,
of
his high school girlfriend, Knives. Yeah. That how he treats his bandmates, how he treats just everybody. He is just so self-centered, and he's a jerk. And as I'm sitting there watching it, I'm like, I don't think I like I still enjoy this movie. I enjoy the computer game fighting stuff and the weirdness. I love the weirdness factor, but I never saw Scott Pilgrim as a jerk until just recently. I'm like, I don't think I like it as much as I did. And as it came to that realization, it really made me sad.
It does.
Hmm.
That is sad. Well, I think a lot of it also is if you contrast him to Culkin, what's his name? Karen Culkin. He's more of a jerk, but but yes, they're both jerks. But yeah, in comparison, like when you watch the movie, like, oh, he's not as bad as Karen.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then his ex-girlfriend's kind of a jerk still, right?
Yeah. Well, no, the ex-girlfriend is like trying to do everything to please him. Like she is so desperate to get his love and affection.
No, not Knives.
Yeah, but no, the girl that Fiona.
Oh, okay.
The girl that he's pursuing does not care for him.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I was kind of sad when I realized, oh, I still like this movie, but it's now off my like top 10, maybe even top 50 list.
Oh man.
Did you ever watch the cartoon on Netflix?
No, I've been meaning to do that.
I watched the first episode.
Maybe that'll save it.
Okay.
The first episode was so much like the movie that I was like, I mean, probably they're not going to do it with episode 2, but I stopped.
Yeah. So yeah, one of my favorite movies is no longer on the list. I see the merit badge as kind of like a list and then an arrow with something and it just dropping.
It's like your football team dropping out of the top 25.
Oh, that hurts. Especially if they've been there all season long. And it's like the last.
That's it. That's what it is.
Yep. All right. My next merit badge is the German Shakedown. So this is a fun story. I've told numerous times. I think I got it down. So anyway, I went to Germany for a work trip, and the whole week leading up to it, I wanted a haircut. Couldn't find time. Went there, and like every day at the end of the work day, I was like, okay, do I have time to get a haircut? The first couple of days, I had no time to get a haircut. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go get a haircut on the third day. And so I look it up. There's a place. It's in even the company, like the haircut store, whatever you want to call it, is named in English. Like it's not a German and then translated English. Like even on the storefront, it says like Uptown Haircuts kind of thing. So I was like, okay, first of all, English is not going to be a problem. It should be fine. It's close enough. Yada, yada, yada. And I have a dinner after this haircut I was supposed to go to as well. So I was like, oh, and it's close enough that I can probably get it done and go to my dinner right after. So I do that. I go there. They don't speak that much English there, but we get by. It's not exactly what I wanted as far as a haircut, but it makes do, and it wasn't horrible by any means. So I got my haircut. Everything's done. And then I go to pay, and I pull out my credit card. Like, oh, we don't take credit card. I was like, what? You don't take credit card? Like, what do you take? Like, we just take cash. I'm like, just cash, huh? I'm like, you don't take Venmo, Zelle, or Cash App, or Apple Pay, or anything like that? Like, nope. We can take PayPal if you want. And like, that's like the only one I don't know. So I'm in their place. They're trying to get their brother, one of the brothers there that speaks way better English than he does. And the whole time I'm trying to figure out a way to pay them. And I'm like, I don't have cash. Like, that's just the flat out problem. I don't have cash. So I spent like 45 minutes working out with them a way to pay them. And one of the options was they would not let me leave. I couldn't go back to like the hotel and like get money somehow. Because I didn't have a debit card or the ATM card and all that stuff. I never have an ATM card. So I tried to pursue the PayPal option. PayPal kept freezing up on me on every like couple of seconds of if I push something wrong, it'd freeze and like I couldn't get out of it. So I had to close the app and start over. It was a long process, but eventually I paid them. It was all for like 15 euros, which is just like $17. Wasn't that much. And I was like, man, that was like 45 minutes of my life that I wanted back. because it was just frustrating that I'm like, Germany is like, I thought of them the exact same as far as American, like America. I don't imagine ever going to the UK ever and them saying, oh, we only accept cash. But maybe, I don't know if you've experienced that.
Well, when I was in the UK, the two previous times, like they were well known for like me using a credit card at times was like it took everything longer. And so I'm like, oh, sweet. I'll just, I brought my debit card because it was recommended to bring your debit card, go over to an ATM and just pay the bank fee for using not your bank is a lot more reasonable than going to a money lender here in America. And so that's what I did. My wife and her daughter just barely went to the UK, and they've now, I think COVID has changed everything. They've gone from like a so high cash system to we barely take cash for anything.
That's what I thought this would be like. But the thing is in Germany, where I was, the taxi cabs, the restaurants, they were all kind of like, you're going to pay credit card? Why? And it's like, yeah, this is a post-COVID era. Why are you wanting cash? Like, I don't want to carry around cash. So I'm kind of surprised. That was my first trip to Europe. So it was fun.
Bad last.
Interesting. Okay, well, my next merit badge, I got this one a while ago, but I'm gonna throw it out there. And I got my first successful 3D print.
Ooh. What'd you print?
Well, it was a little tiny keychain for my wife. It was like a Pride and Prejudice keychain.
Okay.
Book. I gave that to her. Nice. But I was like, hey, I'm figuring this out, and it didn't take as long as I thought it was going to. but I still have lots to learn about 3D printing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not an expert by any means, but I've tinkered it to where, you saw one of the things that I tried to print, and it was just messed up. And so like I had to figure things out and, tweak with the system, but I'm slowly figuring it out, and it's been a lot of fun. It's kind of addicting just to kind of watch it.
Yep.
Create something right in front of your eyes.
It definitely is. It is very fun. There's something about taking a roll of plastic and having it print into something useful or fun.
Yeah. So I'm sure it's something I'm going to keep exploring and keep pushing the boundaries on, but it's been really fun.
That's great. Good for you. I'm glad that you're getting used to that.
It only took me like, let's see, I got it, in February?
Something like that, yeah.
And then I finally turned it on for the first time in like May.
Yeah, that's quick then.
Wow.
All right, Brett, did you have another?
Yeah. So my last merit badge on this Court of Honor is the Covered in Guts merit badge.
Like, is it like Nickelodeon Guts?
I wish. I wish it was. And I think this is a merit badge that I think a lot of people have earned over their lifetime, or if they have not, they will eventually at one point in time. So they're just driving along, just doing whatever. And, you're sitting there watching, every so often you see a bug just splat on your windshield. No big deal. There's one bug that splatted on my windshield that I was just like, holy cow, what was the size of the bug I hit? Because this thing from point of impact splattered. And as I was driving, the guts just kept on crawling up the windshield.
Had a full belly.
Yeah. I'm sitting there thinking, what is this bug? How big was it? Because, it wasn't like a grasshopper or anything like that super huge. It was just one of those like little, but it just exploded like a gusher. and so I'm sitting there thinking, all right, what do I do? Do I just let it go? Like if I hit the windshield wiper, there's a good chance that it will like smear. So it's just a solo streak that is more plentiful than I thought. And so it just kept on going up. So eventually, after it dried, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, so I'm going to get this sucker off. So I hit the windshield wiper one day when I'm just like not going anywhere, and it starts getting all over the place, not cleaning it up, just spreading it even further. So I'm like, okay, I need to drive to the gas station. I'm going to need to get one of those windshield wiper things. So I go to the gas station and I'm doing, and this thing, like these guts were so massive that windshield wiper thing was doing nothing except spreading the guts even further across my windshield, to the point where I had to go into the gas station, buy a car wash. I took it to the car wash, and I'm finally watching it as it's being ripped off of my windshield by the car wash brush.
That poor bug's body's been through a lot now. Think of like almost a Rick and Morty episode, like if a human was a body in some larger world, and just like, ugh, just turn on the windshield wipers, like it dismembering a body.
Yeah, it was like whatever I did only made everything worse. I mean, the only thing was like I should have just rode this bug juice out on my windshield forever.
And it's just going, help me, turn out.
And this is the start of an origin story.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My next merit badge that I got was I don't throw up like I used to.
Cool.
It's another old. It might be in the category of a pin from one of my merit badges I've had before, where I'm just getting too old. I mean, so we had the stomach bug pass through my family and my wife's family, and like everybody was it was vomit fest. It really was. But the good thing is everybody took a turn on a day. So like, because we were on vacation when this happened. So like my wife was first, I was second, my son was third. Oh, and then my niece was throwing up and all that stuff, and chewed. My oldest son just barely finished a couple days ago. So, we've all took our turns. But anyway, me, and I don't know if this is me or the bug, but I feel like it's a me thing. I threw up officially over a week and a day ago. I had almost a 12-hour vomit fest. And my stomach still is not 100%. It's just like, oh, I can't eat all the food still. It's like, come on. It's been a while. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm still not fully recovered. Eating from 12 hours of throwing up. Usually it was like 2 days and back to normal. I'm getting old.
Okay.
All right. And Krill?
My last one is, I don't think I did this on the podcast, but I'm calling it the I'm done merit badge. You guys know that I was a vegetarian for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
That's over. 3.5 months. Done.
Glad to have you back in the carnivore world.
You're having Mountain Dew. You're having meat.
Yeah.
Life's good now.
Life's getting better now. It was becoming a little bit too much to do 2 different dinners and to live this kind of lifestyle by myself. And so, I missed certain things.
Wait, so what brought this on? I don't recall. Like, you just were just like, I'm done with meat?
Yeah.
You were looking to have, as in Scott Pilgrim, special vegan powers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, vegan, that's too much. I don't know if I could do that. I like cheese too much. And so, and if you've ever tried vegan cheese, it is not the same thing. But I'm back. I'm back, baby.
I'm back, baby.
Cool.
All right. And that's me.
Mm-hmm.
Last one here. So after our vacation, we were in Bear Lake, Utah, and we went on the way home to Evanston, bought a schload of fireworks, and might have buyer's remorse, especially after I already used them. And it's like, I didn't pick out the good stuff. But I spent a lot of money, unfortunately, and I don't know. My neighbors put me to shame too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, my neighbors easily spent a couple $1,000.
What was it? Dad was showing me. I thought I was at your guys' house for the last year's fireworks, but Dad showed me a video of last year's fireworks where he was recording like the fireworks in front of your house. And then while recording, he just kind of panned over to your neighbor's house, and it was.
Yep. That's what it was like this year. I'm just like, and so everybody's like, "Oh, Jeremy, you gonna do this again next year?" I'm like, I don't know about that. I'm just gonna give them my money. He'll probably be better served that way. Because I mean, they had a group of like 10 guys just running out into the street, lighting another firework, and then the next one would do it, and the next one would do it, and just keep going. And like they were going to town and put up a show. And then there was a time where we were facing across the street, like all the houses behind us were lighting big old fireworks all at the same time. So like our whole view was just filled with fireworks, which was pretty awesome. But mine were kind of like wah wah in comparison. So
spin the wheel.
All right, we have spin the wheel where we have 10 categories of questions. We're gonna. Oh, you know what? I counted the other day. It's actually 9. I don't know where I came up with 10 with all these years of saying 10 categories of questions. We have 9 categories of questions. And the wheel's going to decide what we're going to ask each other. So here we go. Brett, you're up first. And you got, could you fight it?
All right. So thinking back about probably one of the best movies of the late 90s, or maybe early I think it was a 1999 movie. But shoot, now that movie just escaped. Oh, Galaxy Quest. There we are. And I don't want to do the rock monster, but the supposed Grignac, which was this pig monster. Let's just say you find yourself in the very similar situation as Tim Allen's character in an alien planet or Goblin Valley. Take your pick. Could you fight this pig monster? Because remember, the only way he was able to defeat the pig monster is it being beamed up and then torn inside out.
Exploded. I say that line probably like once a month at least. And it exploded. Could I fight that thing? I'm trying to remember what it looks like with its guts not inside out.
It's kind of like
it's just like a boar, right?
It's like I can't remember if I think it's like a 2-legged boar, if memory serves me right.
Oh, really? I'm gonna look it up.
I don't think it has 4 legs. I think it's like a 2-legged boar with a gigantic head.
Do I have any weapons?
You have the same amount of weapons as Tim Allen's character had in this either Mars planet or Goblin Valley.
Okay.
So that's what that's what you have.
Oh yeah, it is bipedal. Like it only has 2 legs. It's a pig lizard.
Pig lizard. I just love that. That movie is so underrated and so underappreciated.
I remember seeing it in the theater.
So do I.
I don't know if I did. I'm sure I did.
I think I took you. Maybe. I can't remember.
Just go with it.
I know I was there. I don't know if you were there, but I know I was there. And that was at the time where I refused to watch movies alone. So I did not watch it alone.
That came out, what, 99?
I think 99.
Yeah, 99.
Okay, so I do have like a phaser of sort, right?
Yeah.
I think I could take it, and I don't imagine that the pig lizard's very fast at all.
I'm going to give it the college try. Yeah.
The old college try.
It feels good. It feels right. If Tim can do it, I can do it.
I don't think so, Tim.
That'd be funny if Wilson just came out of the woodwork. I don't think so, Tim.
With a little fence.
Random thing. So I was Googling it, and one of the questions, you know how Google comes up with like a series of questions? It was, here's the question now. Oh, yeah. It says, how did Alan Rickman feel about Galaxy Quest? And it said, Rickman was initially annoyed with Alan's excitement over his role, but eventually the whole cast bonded over the film. Was he not the same character?
I know. Like, you know what? Did he channel his like inner dislike for that thing? For the horns of Griptha. What savings?
All the savings, yes. Okay, my turn. And I get Kiss, Marry, Kill. Okay, I always try to do. I feel like ones that are obviously super hard. I think we all do, but this one's pointed at Brett. But I think Criddle will also potentially have a hard time.
All right.
Their whole works, all their movies and shows.
Okay.
Directors.
Director. Good. I was like, I'll just be like taking a shot in the dark with this one.
Robin Williams, Jim Carrey, and Dan Aykroyd.
Okay. I'm going to marry Dan Aykroyd.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, I kind of was leaning that way, but you were just so quick about it.
Let's see. You said Jim Carrey, Robin Williams. Kiss Robin Williams, kill
Yep,
Jim Carrey.
That's exactly the order I thought you were going to say it. But I'm still kind of surprised. Like Ace Ventura is going down the drain. And
see, here's the thing with Jim Carrey. Like, oh. I started watching a whole bunch of, and I think it is slowly becoming a thing where people start behaving either like their personality or they don't really like get out of their personality way in movies. I watched, I think, like 2 or 3 Ryan Reynolds movies in a row. I went to the movie theater and saw If. I saw The Adam Project. I saw Red Notice, and then there was something else that I watched. And I'm sitting there thinking, in every single Free Guy. And in every single movie, he basically plays the same person. Mm-hmm. He just has a different name. And then I was sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, well, and he's playing Deadpool that way too. And then, I was sitting there going through all of his movies, and I'm sitting there thinking,
you have Van Wilding.
Well, yeah, you have Van Wilder, you have Waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just sitting there going, he kind of plays one person.
Yep.
A lot of times. Now, granted, out of all those movies, my favorite movie was The Adam Project. That was fun, especially because they got a 12-year-old kid who was able to
have an attitude.
Had basically, it was a mere copy. You'd almost expect that kid being Ryan Reynolds' son, mm-hmm. because he just had the same speech pattern and attitude that Ryan Reynolds has. And I think that's really, really good actor for that. But that's why like Jim Carrey'd be off the board, because he just plays these over, like Dan Aykroyd has flexibility. You could also say Robin Williams kind of has that flexibility, but because you're not sure what he's going to do in a given moment, I think that's what makes it, kissable. But Jim Carrey is almost, Cable Guy. You have the high moments of The Truman Show, where he is like, he's playing his average guy and then he just goes over the top. You have him in the second movie of what's that one with Fall Girl and what is it? Anyway, superhero movie where he plays like this over the top general guy. Anyway, everything that he does generally is just over the top, and I'm just like, no, I could move on.
I've always thought that nearly every comedic actor is the same in each movie. Like, I dare say that there's not really too much of even Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd does have some quote unquote range as far as it goes, because plays Zelensky, mm-hmm. and he plays Conehead, which is not really the same characters as like Ghostbusters and all that stuff.
But he, in The Great Outdoors, he plays a very straight person.
Yeah.
And then maybe that's the reason why I like Dan Aykroyd, is because he can be comedy, but he's straight. Mm-hmm. Whereas
the over the top people like Robin Williams and Jim Carrey, they tend to be a little bit more similar.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree with that.
All right, Tim.
But I think a lot of actors, to be honest, we think that they have more range than they do. And I think it's honestly, we're just hiring them for who they are for that part.
Well, it's almost like The Rock constantly. Oh, yes. Like, it's just like, you're getting what you're getting.
Yep.
It's
like Keanu Reeves too. Like, yeah. And and I'm not going to, to be honest, and I think I don't know this. I'm not saying this 100% with the knowledge of every movie this person's been in, but John Malkovich is John Malkovich in every movie. I don't see a difference for this Juilliard actor.
Well, and then on top of that, I mean, I'll tell you that's why I struggled with so many movies that Vin Diesel is in, because
he is 100% Vin Diesel.
But
in
he's
every
100%.
movie.
But and the funny thing is that's why I love Groot so much. It's just like when I saw that he was one of the names on that, I was like, oh, this is gonna suck so bad. And then it is I Am Groot. I'm just like, he nailed it.
Nailed it, man. I could feel it when he said I Am Groot. Oh man, but to take it on a serious turn when what's his name? What is the director's name on the Guardians of the Galaxy?
James Gunn.
Yeah, James Gunn said like in the end game, or not end game, the first one, Infinity Wars. What he was saying as he was dissolving, what I Am Groot stood for. Oh my gosh, I died. But you had to have a human translate it to get it. It was like something to the effect of like, what he said, something about like calling Rocket father, essentially, and like, and it was just like, oh, he's dying, he's calling him dad.
Wow,
it was sad.
All right,
But,
Tim.
I've been thinking about it while you two have been talking. Because I like first off, I like all three actors. Jim Carrey and Robin Williams, though they are over the top actors, but they do have movie moments where they can flip the switch and shake it up just a little bit. But I review if I watch more Robin Williams movies or Jim Carrey movies, and I think I watch more Jim Carrey movies. So I'm gonna marry Jim Carrey, kiss Dan Aykroyd, kill Robin Williams.
Wow,
that's a little too soon.
Sorry.
Says the person who made this question.
Yeah. I didn't think anybody would be killing him. I honestly have been turned upside down with a lot of this conversation because Dan Aykroyd has a lot more movies than I gave him credit for in my brain. Because I just think, because immediately one of the first movies besides Ghostbusters that came to my head was that Christmas movie that I don't like.
Christmas with the Cranks. I like that one. I did not think I'd like that one because mom overly liked it. And when mom overly likes something, it's not good.
I didn't like it at all. But you know what? Dan Aykroyd is the one Ghostbuster that I think like he pops up most frequently in like just random cameos that are just so fun. Mm-hmm. And it's like now Bill Murray still has the best cameo of all time.
Well, he does, but if you were to interchange the three of them, it would be easy to kind of kill Bill Murray because of what he's been doing like the past like 15 years.
Yeah. And then, do you have any regrets? Garfield. It'd be funny if the next one it would have been Dan Aykroyd that was there.
Did you guys ever see Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire?
No,
I need to. I actually haven't seen the one that came out during the pandemic.
The Afterlife.
That one's not bad. I enjoyed it.
Okay, I won't spoil anything.
I picked it up on iTunes for like $5 a couple of months ago. Oh. I haven't gotten around to watching it, but eventually.
Okay, I won't spoil anything then.
If I were to, now you guys got me all turned upside down, and so I'm like, I don't know what I want, but I
think Dan Aykroyd's got his hand more in a lot more than what I think, and so I'm like, I'd just give him a little kissy kiss.
But just so you know, like you killed Robin Williams, so that means all his works are gone from watching.
Yeah,
and you killed Jim Carrey, which I know you're fine with. You know what? I'm going to start off with killing Jim Carrey because he is one of those actors that once he got to a certain point, I think it's just started not liking a lot of his movies.
I think but you have to also think about all the stuff. I mean, do you quote a lot of his movies?
I do. I mainly quote Ace Ventura's. Well, those are like the two.
Dumb and Dumber?
Somewhat.
You're saying there's a chance?
It's not a movie, right?
Yeah.
But no, I quote, I don't know.
You quote more Robin Williams movies?
No, I probably quote Jim Carrey the most. But
There's a reason.
Robin Williams has more movies like from, I quote Mrs. Doubtfire quite a bit.
Miss Doubtfire, Aladdin.
Yeah. I enjoy Dead Poet Society. I wouldn't be happy or sad to lose. What was that one?
Sergeant Bilko,
Sergeant Bilko, Dan Aykroyd. Ugh.
Celtic Pride. Come on, man.
Oh yeah, I was talking about Celtic Pride
I
the other
forgot
day.
about Celtic. I like Celtic Pride.
I like Celtic Pride.
Canadian Bacon.
How come that didn't make our movie watch?
Tommy Boy. Oh, we
Sports
already talked
watch.
about
That's
Tommy
true.
Boy.
I forgot about it.
My Girl 2.
Oh, I don't care for My
Okay,
Girls.
I don't care for either of those either. And then there's that one movie that Dad really liked, and I kind of was like, the Nothing But Trouble.
I remember that one.
I mean, John Candy, Chevy Chase.
Robin Williams had Night at the Museum movies,
Oh yeah, there's those.
which I could go without.
Great Outdoors, which
You guys are killing me.
August Rush.
I don't know what that is.
It's a music movie. He played a voice in Robots.
I
Mrs.
didn't know. I'm
Doubtfire.
gonna have to rewatch that movie. It's one of my least up there with one of my least favorite
What
ones.
movie?
But Dan Aykroyd is in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Really?
I
Yeah.
think I think he's a.
His name is Weber.
I think he's
Interesting.
a
Must be a
very
background.
brief person. Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Let's see. Insomnia.
Insomnia is horrible.
Bicentennial Man. Patch
That's
Adams.
horrible. That's okay.
What Dreams May Come. Goodwill Hunting. Flubber.
Flubber's horrible.
Aladdin. The third Aladdin. The first Aladdin. Jack. Jumanji.
That's an interesting. So if you did, let me just
Hook.
If you did remove, as Tim did,
There's no right answer for this. Let's be real.
if you did remove Robin Williams, would that mean the Jumanji sequels wouldn't exist also?
No,
Okay.
it would be like a new creation because it's not touched by him at all.
Okay.
I think Robin Williams could be replaced in Jumanji.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. Well, screw you both for turning my question around onto me and making it difficult on me because I was pretty set when I started this. And then all of a sudden you guys are like, what about this? What about this? And now I don't know. So final freaking answer here. And I'm not happy about it because it was not anywhere near my original answer. I'm marrying Dan Aykroyd.
As you should.
I'm kissing Robin Williams.
As you should.
I'm killing Jim Carrey.
Yep. Those are all three correct.
You're going to have killer's remorse.
Yeah. While you're not watching number 23, you're going to have killer's remorse.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey's like as
Eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. Yeah. Enjoy not that existing.
as soon as like Cable Guy came out, to me it was more or less downhill for him. It's like it's like what's his name, Will Ferrell, and once like Talladega Nights / Ron Burgundy happened, then it's
I
kind of
agree.
downhill.
I like Yes Man. I like.
It's okay.
I like Bruce Almighty.
Bruce, it's okay.
I did like him in Sonic as Dr.
I have
Robotnik.
yet to see Sonic.
I have not seen any of the Sonics.
Like he does a good Dr. Robotnik in that.
The Grinch, I will
Grinch.
say,
I love the Grinch.
The Grinch will be one that I will be sad about.
I don't think there's a Christmas. Well, yeah, there is a Christmas Robin Williams, right?
I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Let's just put this behind us. Don't talk about it again. Criddle, you get up and you get random question.
Random question. If you had to turn your life into a book, what format of a book would you choose?
Now, are you talking about? You're not talking about narration type, right?
No, like would you turn it into just a basic, 700-page book, like, all wording, or would you do like a graphic novel? Would you do a children's book? Something. What kind of format would you do?
I think mine needs pictures, so probably a graphic novel, just because you need something to rope the people along with.
I mean, just for the pure like comedy, I would like to have like my book, watercolor children's book animated that just like talks down to the whole audience.
See, I would love to have a children's pop-up book.
That's what I was about to say. I was about to say, can I have a 500-page pop-up book?
Sure, you can. They do like these little pop-up books for Harry Potter right now that they're currently releasing. So why not?
I didn't hear about that. That's cool.
Yeah, I think if I had to read it, it'd be a graphic novel.
And
but
interactive.
Exactly.
Or you can do your own comic issues.
What I would do is
create your own adventure.
create your own adventure.
Oh, you died as me.
Go back to page 1.
You put some like depressing thing there, like almost like
didn't look both ways.
No, you just, what is his name? Almost have a tone of Alan Rickman again from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Like,
yeah.
You didn't make it. we weren't gonna make it anyway. Well, see you later or something. I don't know. All right, Brett, you're up next with, I'm gonna call it Desert Island. Even though
I
tried to mispronounce it.
You are on, obviously the whole setup is you're on a desert or deserted island. What would you prefer? You have been Freaky Friday'd. Would you rather be Freaky Friday'd alone and you're in somebody else's body? Or would you rather be Freaky Friday'd with a person and you guys have switched bodies? So one of them, you're in some I take that back. I forgot how I wrote this. So you're in a random person's Freaky Friday body, you know, whatever you'd like, but you're all alone in this other person's body. Or you are on a desert island and you've been Freaky Friday'd with one of your kids.
Oh, no.
By myself.
By myself. 100% by myself. Nope. Ugh, no. No. No.
You don't want to hear the complaint coming from your voice.
It's other things too. Nope. All right, moving on. All right, I got what would you do? What would you do? Okay. What would you do if you woke up one morning with the ability to talk to animals, but the only catch is that they only have very strong opinions about your daily choices?
That's fine.
They're just all very I don't know, judgmental of every action you make.
That's fine.
So do I have to listen to them all the time, or do I only hear what they have to say?
It's like a Dr. Dolittle thing. Like, you hear them. They're just like people around you. And, you know, and back in Eddie Murphy's #1 Dr. Dolittle, like, people were commenting on him all the time. And he's,
so they know you. They know.
well, they kind of catch on that you hear them. And then word spreads.
So you tell me that they would like start coming and visiting my house?
Well, they'd be like, hey, he can understand us. And they would do with that whatever they feel like.
Yeah, I think I could live without that power.
But what would you do if you had the power? Would you... What would you do to get sanity? Would you be okay with that?
So what I would do is I would live in a petless house. I would install like super thick panes of glass so that the least amount of sound could penetrate it. Whenever I'd go out to, walk or something like that, noise canceling headphones. Like, I would live my life in utter seclusion.
Would you bring a BB gun around with you everywhere you went? You're like, hey.
That's it. BB gun, bear pepper spray. Like, these animals want to get near me. I will dish out pain to you.
I don't know. I feel like I could also use it to my advantage too, like bribery and stuff. So like, let's say if you're living in a house and like your neighbor next door has a dog that just barks throughout the night, you can go out there and be like, "Hey man, what's up? What's wrong? Why are you barking all night?"
I had a nightmare. My owner didn't love me.
I'm like, so you just need a nightlight? All right, let's go get one.
Week 7 of this.
But then he's like,
your owner loves you. Okay. Don't you understand?
But then remind you, he is
judgmental
of your daily choices. So he's like, oh, by the way, you mow your lawn horribly. You missed a spot.
I'm like, yeah, I know. I did it on purpose.
You kids talk crap on you all the time. We hear it.
That's fine. I only have to deal with it for a few more years.
All right. And to finish us off, Criddle with What If?
What if one day you found a USB port on your body?
Ooh. USB-C or USB? USB 2.0, 1.0.
Like, let's say you're just like, you're sitting, you're just like maybe fiddling with your fingers, and like you just kind of push on your fingernail, and all of a sudden you see a little USB port there.
I'd probably go plug it. The question is, would you plug it into a power source or a computer? I'd probably go to the computer. It's me.
I'd plug it into a thumb drive. I would download
there you go.
Some encyclopedias into the thumb drive and then just kind of put it in there and just see what happens.
I'd put it on my computer and see what kind of drive pulls up. Like, oh.
You see files 1991, 1992,
512 megabytes? That's not very much.
It's all coded.
Oh me, oh my. Ooh.
That'd be so funny. You plug for me and Jeremy, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, you too. You plug your finger in your computer and it doesn't work. And you're just like, oh man. Then a little while later, you go to like a Windows computer, you plug it in, you're like, oh, come on.
Oh man.
I suck.
Not compatible. Would you tell anybody?
I would figure out the thing first. Like if I couldn't get anything out of it, I would tell somebody, be like, I can't. Like, I connected to a computer, and then all of a sudden I'm having strange feelings for the computer.
And what would you think if it was password protected?
Oh, geez. That would drive me crazy if it was password protected and I couldn't guess the password. It's not even my name or anything like that, or my date of birth. That'd be...
Click here to reset.
Insert my email address, reset password.
What is your mother's maiden name? I was like, how do you know that? That'd be funny. That'd be a fun movie or show or whatever you want to do. You could do a lot with that. I like it. Yeah. All right. So we're going to move on to our draft of best X-Men movies. This is going to be the whole entire X-Men universe. So this includes everything from Deadpool, X-Men, and
the Wolverines. Logan.
Can it be anybody that's in the X-Men universe?
No.
Like, what do you mean by that?
Like, could it be a X-Men character that's relatively linked to the X-Men series, but maybe in a parallel universe?
I'm wondering who you're thinking of.
I know. I'm sitting there.
No.
Okay.
It's just anybody that's tied to the X-Men that have made the crossover into the X-Men movies. I know Hugh Jackman's the only one that has left the X-Men movies and crossed over into like the MCU. I think he made an appearance, right?
Yeah.
So was it in the time travel one?
Yeah, it was in the Days of Future Past.
Okay.
When Magneto and Xavier are trying to recruit people.
Oh, but that's still within the X-Men universe.
Yeah.
But he hasn't left into the MCU at all? There was never any?
No.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought he made like a cameo or something.
Well, okay. Then I have two that may not work.
Okay. All right. So I am first. So I'm going to go with X-Men First Class. I like that movie.
It was actually really unexpected and so just like I didn't think they were going to link them together the whole series, but like it was a nice refreshing take on it, and I liked the music in there. I liked Magneto and his approach and his backstory to it. I liked that they were Charles and Eric were friends, and then he kind of veered off. I even like Kevin Bacon's villain in there and his take and how powerful he was.
Yep, I agree.
And it was honestly like the first X-Men movie to really not feature Wolverine, even though Wolverine played a cameo.
That was kind of nice and refreshing in a way.
I mean, I like Wolverine, but I also thought both him and Jean Grey just kind of overshadowed the whole X-Men franchise.
They did.
It was just too much. It was too much.
Too much.
Well, and the interesting thing about the whole X-Men, and I like how you said that, sometimes Wolverine overshadows everything, is in the landscape of comic books, you have the X-Men series, you have, X-Force, X-Factor, a couple other X books or whatever. But there's only been 3 characters that have been ever able to carry their solo series from the X-Men. Obviously, Wolverine's one of them. Deadpool's another one. And Cable is the third one. And every other one, they'll try to do a Gambit series, fails. They'll try to do a Storm series, fails. They'll do, nobody wants a Jubilee series.
Not even Jubilee.
No, not even Jubilee.
Yeah, I could see that. Though I thought you were going to say Professor X.
No.
But no, he's not even. I don't think he could do it. Magneto could, in theory.
Well, Magneto has these short 5-issue series, but nothing that is ongoing for 25, 50, 70 issues.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think in First Class, I think Eric and Charles really balance each other out very well. And I really like that.
I did not think I would like James McAvoy as Xavier.
Right.
And I really felt as though he did a good job. And then that one German actor, I believe, or Austrian actor, who is Magneto. I think
Fassbender.
I think both of them are fantastic.
I mean, unexpected choice. I also like that, they kind of showed, an origin story of how Professor X ends up in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
They start off with him walking and, being all
I forgot. How did they say that happened? Because I just read one of the comic book series of it, and they have the story about how he ended up in the wheelchair. What did they say in X-Men First Class?
In the First Class, they were on a beach, and Magneto was deflecting a bullet that ended up going into his spine. He felt paralyzed after that.
And that was when he was still on the same side as Charles, right? Or was he?
That's the turning point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because in the comic book, Magneto was devising this plan on what is that one island called?
I know what you're talking about. The
Mutant. It's called it's called Savage Land.
Yeah, Savage Land. Uh-huh.
So he's on Savage Land, and that's where he realizes the pivotal point in his life was to accomplish his goal of, his way of having mutants having a safe life or whatever, a better life through his means of being more violent. He was going to have to get Charles out of his life more or less, and so he essentially, I think something dropped on him by the chance of by the help of Magneto and giving him that paralyzing him. But yeah, okay. But either way, it looks like it's always Magneto.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, mine is just going to be a continuation. X-Men: Days of Future Past.
All right.
Arguably the best X-Men movie.
Yep. Arguably, yep.
Definitely. I mean, that I saw that in the theater twice, and I don't normally go see movies in the theater twice.
Nope, I don't either.
I love the beginning with the Sentinels. I wish they could have done more with the Sentinels, but I'm sure that would have just put it over the top with
budget.
Yeah. But great opening to the movie, and I love that they linked it in a very unique way of time travel, and good.
I only did not pick that one because first off, I do think I enjoyed X-Class or First Class a little bit better, but I accidentally unpurposely own 2 versions of that. I got the Rogue cut, which I was expecting it to be. She's just present there for more 7 minutes more. Congratulations, you Fox, for getting another 10.99 out of me.
Yeah.
There's no. It's just a vanilla release. It's just the Rogue cut.
It's so dumb. I mean, why did they even advertise the Rogue edition? Especially when it made no difference to the plot of the whole film.
Yeah.
If it had changed things, if it had said, "Oh, this was actually going to be like the Snyder cut," of Justice League. If it had changed the movie altogether, then
Yeah.
I would have been like, okay, I'm a little more interested in it. But
I feel like the Snyder Cut changed so much of the movie.
it was totally different.
I know it was much better.
However, like once again, X-Men did this again with, I think it was X-Men 1 or 2.5, one of the two. And it's like, I can't tell you the difference unless you tell me, because I definitely watched it, and I was like, I don't see any new. Maybe there was like 10 more seconds. Who knows? All right, Criddle, you're up.
Well, you guys took the two best ones, so I'm just gonna go with X2, X-Men United.
Oh,
I think that one was better than the first one. I did enjoy the first one when I was a kid, but I think a lot of the people in that movie were trying to find their footing with their characters, and I think they kind of got better at it in the second one. So I'm going.
I forgot who's
X2.
the villain in X2. Isn't it like Wolverine's kind of backstory a little bit?
it is. The villain is
Stryker. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. It was in kind of takes place in Canada.
Yeah. So I'm with what I got to pick. That's what I'm going with.
All righty.
Okay.
And what's your wheel pick?
Oh, that was. Oh, wait, sorry. I was going to
this
say
I
that
do
was
have-
his wheel
I
pick.
do have the wheel pick. Oh boy, can I pick Deadpool and Wolverine if it's not out yet?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Nope. You can pick Deadpool. And you can pick Deadpool 2.
You can pick Wolverine.
And you're picking your nose.
I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2.
You suck.
I like that they released two different versions of that movie.
And that's what I was going to do. I was going to pick the second one. I was going to do the Once Upon a Deadpool because I thoroughly enjoy the whole Princess Bride, Fred Savage abduction type thing.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed, the first Deadpool or Deadpool 2 is okay, but when they made it PG-13 and they just kind of turned it into a spoof of the Princess Bride, I feel as though for me personally, they made it better.
I've only seen the original Deadpool. I haven't seen the Once Upon a Time.
I also liked Cable in that. I thought he was cool and
I like
a
that.
good addition to it.
When they talk to him about it was like I like how he just makes reference to him possibly being Thanos too.
Well, Thanos and like One-Eyed Willy, like reference to Goonies, and it's so funny.
Alrighty.
All right.
All right.
Now I don't know what to pick now. Thanks a
know.
lot.
I'm kind of there with
I was
you.
pretty certain X2 wasn't going to get back to me, but I was just like, I'm the only one that likes Deadpool 2, so obviously it'll get back to me.
I'm going to take this one before it passes me. I like X-Men or Origins Wolverine.
Is that the one where he takes and he gets his powers stolen by the Asian guy? Or is that the Wolverine?
This is the one with Ryan Reynolds.
That's the Wolverine.
Oh,
This is Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. I enjoy it.
okay.
I mean, right now it's kind of already at the bottom of the bucket.
Okay. So, yeah. I get to have, just going to go with the first X-Men from 2000
No, Kido.
Okay.
because that's better than
The other options.
the other options. And then I think I'm going to go with the first Deadpool movie too.
Yeah, if you didn't take it, I was going to.
Oh yeah, I you know what? I need to find the best of the worst.
The best of the best of the worst. All right, so this is leaving X-Men Last Stand,
Uh-huh.
the Wolverine,
Uh-huh.
Logan,
Logan, uh-huh.
Apocalypse,
Uh-huh.
Dark Phoenix,
Dark Phoenix
and New Mutant. Which, as I said before the podcast, I have never seen New Mutants.
Could be a treat.
See, I like the rationale for the creation of the New Mutants because according to what I've heard is at the time, because Marvel/Disney did not own the rights to X-Men, they forced Marvel Comics to de-emphasize the X-Men comics and started having them do like New Mutants and stuff like that, and be like, this is what everybody likes. Everybody likes this. And then because again, Fox still owned the rights to it, they're like, okay, well, we're gonna start this New Mutants thing, and people are gonna like it because it's like the X-Men, but it's the New Mutants, and people are gonna like that more. And then this film failed massively.
I'm looking up now of all the X-Men's and seeing on Rotten Tomatoes what is the best and worst.
I think the Days of Future Past is the highest.
Yep, it is.
And then the worst is probably the Dark Phoenix.
Yep, that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
wow. Okay.
That's
I bet you there's a good pitch meeting for New Mutants, because listen to this. So in 2015, Josh Boone was hired to direct and write and adapt the comic, The New Mutant book series. Blah, blah, blah. Then the filming commenced 2017, and the film was released in August of 2020. So essentially it was started being written in 2015, and it took 5 years to be released.
I'm finding out a lot of movies are taking long times to be released. Like,
I know
are
that
being created.
Captain America 4 is in like their 5th generations of reshoots.
Oh, geez.
That bodes well.
Yeah, I think I'm having picker's remorse at least, because I thought I needed to pick X-Men Wolverine now. Origins of Wolverine. I should have picked Deadpool, and then X-Men Origins would have fallen to me in third. So
I appreciate your misstep.
Thank you.
I'm going to pick. I don't have the fondest feelings of this, but like you said, we're picking the best of the worst. And so I think it's coming down for 2 for me of what I'm going to pick. And X1, X2 are picked. I'm picking X3. Last Stand.
I mean, we're not going to judge that pick.
No.
Somebody had to take it because it's who was going to take Apocalypse or Dark Phoenix.
Man, it just comes off as so cheesy. Like just that.
I mean, I'll tell you, if you have not watched the pitch meeting for that one's good, because they they discuss like Jean Grey's Dark Phoenix starts murdering everybody, and then they're like, and then what happens? And then she just stands in the background behind Magneto the whole time. She's like, so she could literally just take out everybody. She's like, yeah, but why not? Because the movie.
Because plot.
That's funny. I feel
right,
like
Tim.
there's garbage. Just
So we're definitely not allowed to use like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
no.
Or Captain Marvel 2.
No.
Really?
How do you figure that those are X-Men universe?
Did you see the post-credit sting for Captain Marvel 2?
No.
Oh yeah, Beast.
Yeah, Beast is there.
Oh, is he? No.
I haven't seen Captain Marvel.
I haven't seen Captain
know
Marvel
of
too. I just heard that's a
Phase
dumpster
4 has
Four.
been like swipe left.
All right.
What about Doctor Strange? Where'd you pull that one from?
Professor X is in there.
Is
with
he?
the actual wheelchair.
That's Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay. I thought you said just the first.
Either
Doctor
way,
Strange.
I didn't know that he was in that.
Yeah, they're in some council
Yeah,
thing.
there's the Illuminati.
because they had.
Oh, that's right. Because Fantastic Four is there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dr. Richards.
Professor X is there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
I'm trying to think outside the box, and it is
Well, I
just
appreciate
sucking
you.
me back into the box.
Appreciate you thinking about it, but no.
I'm gonna go with the X-Men Apocalypse.
Ooh, he took it.
I mean, what else?
Yeah, I know, right?
What do I got? I mean,
Okay.
come on.
Okay.
And the wheel.
What's your last
Oh
pick?
gosh. So we have the Wolverine and
Logan.
We have Logan
and we have
New
Dark
Mut-
Phoenix and New Mutants.
I'm gonna go with Logan.
No.
Oh, that's what I was going to go for. I didn't
That
think it
was-
was going to get to me.
I thought Logan was pretty heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really quite get the whole Oscar win over that.
He won an Oscar for
It
that?
won an
Oh, yeah.
Oscar, but I mean, it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
just
okay. I mean, it probably, once again, should have been picked. I forgot about it for X-Men Last Stand.
I'll probably watch it in 10 years again, maybe. I don't know.
Honestly, this has probably been my worst draft ever. Like, I've had the ability to draft better ones, and for some reason, out of a very short list, I have missed them. Because I could have had Deadpool and probably Logan by now. So dumb, Jeremy. Dumb. I can't read. That's my problem.
If only that center was like human sized and not made for ants.
Is that true? All except for the reading part. So now it's New Mutants. I'm going to say it out loud because I'm not going to let a good one fall. Not that there's good ones left, but New Mutants,
Dark Phoenix,
and
the Wolverine.
The
and the Wolverine.
Yeah, this is definitely bottom of the bucket or barrel.
What is the Wolverine about?
Wolverine.
It goes to Japan.
It goes
That's
to
what I
Japan.
thought.
It takes
I've
place
never seen this.
during World War II, and he saves this guy in a well from, I don't know if it was like Hiroshima or something like that, but he basically covers him up and saves him with his healing factor, and then the guy I think lives, or maybe I think he's not sure if he dies or whatnot, but the guy becomes obsessed of Wolverine's healing factor, and so he basically demands that he wants to steal his healing factor.
The best part of the movie is the end.
The fact that it ends?
Just the sting that leads into Days of Future Past.
Okay. Okay, well, I was letting Rotten Tomato choose my pick.
Let ChatGPT choose.
No, not ChatGPT. I chose Rotten Tomatoes to let me pick by what was the best rated. And surprisingly, the Wolverine is a 71%.
Wow.
So I'm choosing Wolverine.
All right.
Really?
Critics or people like it?
The critics.
71%?
Yep. Let me pull it up to see what the
people say.
what the people say. The people say 69%. So
Did me and the critics and the people watch the same movie?
Yeah, maybe it's worth a watch now.
All right. Well, I'm going to go out on the only movie that I have seen because I know it sucks. I've heard New Mutants is horrible. So I'm going to go with Dark Phoenix because, you know what? If the Dark Phoenix ruins my list, then that will mean that the Phoenix has killed another thing.
I like it. But the thing is the Phoenix are supposed to be able to rise again, right?
I mean,
from Arizona.
Rising again after a reboot.
That's the X-Men trilogy. That's the series. It just keeps on rising. And it keeps dying though.
I know. X3, Dark Phoenix kills it. The new series, Dark Phoenix kills it. So you know what? Whenever they do this new X-Men series from
they do
Marvel
a Phoenix,
and Disney Plus,
They're currently writing it, but I really hope it's not around Jean Grey and Wolverine.
I wish we could get the money and the actors back to do X-Men versus Avengers because maybe I need to read that again, but that was a really good comic book series. It was really short and really to the point, but it was really fun. But it did involve the Phoenix, but Jean Grey did not have the Phoenix, is the exception to it.
Okay.
So, okay. So, recap. Brett has X-Men First Class, X-Men 1, Deadpool 1, and Dark Phoenix.
all right. You know what?
You got to balance.
I kind of surprised you picked X-Men 1 before Deadpool, by the way.
Well, I had the wheel pick, so it really didn't matter.
Oh, that's true. Okay, then I have X-Men Days of Future Past, X-Men Origins Wolverine, X-Men 3 Last Stand, and then Wolverine. It's not terrible. Could have been worse. It could have been better. If I would have
Wolverine saturated list.
Part of
Yeah, I
me
know.
wants to, by next week, have watched New Mutants just to see how bad it was, since it's the only one that wasn't picked.
And then, Curly, you have X2, Deadpool 2. Oh, sequel guy over here.
Yeah.
X-Men Apocalypse and
Which
Logan.
sequel? All sequels.
Well, Logan's, kind of a sequel.
All sequels never equals.
Old Man Logan.
I just didn't like the slowness of Logan. It's just a slow movie.
Well, yeah.
I mean, the story's not bad. It's just really
They could
slow.
have cut out at least like 45 minutes.
Oh,
from that.
absolutely. Yep. And thrown a lot more action in there. All right. Now it's time for our recommendations. What do you recommend, Brett?
So I've been just watching this and that and trying to do a couple different things. And I was bored one day and I just decided, you know what? I have read a couple of the newer series of the Incredible Hulk comics. But what was it like in the late 70s, early 80s? And so with my Marvel Unlimited, I downloaded a whole year's worth, so 12 issues, and started reading them because I was just like, is it just going to be Hulk smash, Hulk smash? And I will tell you,
Hulk doesn't always smash.
no, it is really good. It is like the late 70s, early 80s Hulk comics are really enjoyable. And the thing that I like about them is I feel as though, and they write comics differently now compared to the way that they did. I feel as though if I were to have been collecting comics in the late 70s, early 80s, I could, as a kid, not only afford it, but I would want to reread the issue more than one time a month because of how fun and interactive and how actiony it is. And I feel as though with now modern comics, everything is like, we need to deconstruct this character. We need to slow it down. We need to take this story and we need to just kind of like stretch it out. And I don't feel as though it's, if you had like the thick paperback trade, graphic novel type thing, that whole trade might be able to be reread. But then you're taking about 6 issues of a series and able to reread it. Whereas in the 70s, 80s, you could easily probably reread the same thing multiple times a month until you got to the next comic. And I really, really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's kind of like with Walking Dead. The comic book series is very to the point, and then the TV series is just drawn out. And you're like, if you would have been just as fun as the comic book series and as fast paced, people would have enjoyed it a lot more. There'd been less drama, but we all know that AMC is drama.
Mm-hmm.
Drama.
So is the CW.
Oh, yes. All right. My recommendation, I've came across, I think I may have told you this, Brett, but I came across this show called Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
And it is Bryan Cranston. And essentially, some may say that it's very similar in a sense to Breaking Bad, somebody who was going down a certain walk of life and then something happened, then completely altered his life and is now changing like 180 of who he is, his moral compass and all that stuff. It is what it is, but I enjoy it thoroughly. I didn't enjoy Breaking Bad. I only saw the first season of that, and then I tapped out because I did my due diligence, I felt.
Mm-hmm.
So Your Honor is, Bryan Cranston is a very morally like standing judge, like in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's some judges that, make questionable decisions, but he feels like everything has to be done exactly as the law dictates. He even sets that pretty quickly in the first episode of like, you may have been innocent or you may have been guilty, but their lawyers didn't do their due diligence of like doing what they needed to do. So therefore, because of what the law requires, you are innocent or guilty. And so that's how he is. But the reason why this show is great is because, and this is all given in the first episode, so it's not like the biggest spoiler. I think it's enough to get you captivated in it. But what it is, so Bryan Cranston's son, so first of all, story starts off with his wife being dead. And his son went out to where I guess she was murdered or something. Anyway, he was kind of distraught, I guess, or something sad. And he was also being chased by this car. And this other kid was riding his motorcycle. They never allude to who was in the wrong as far as the accident goes. They never even really cover that because I don't even think they want that as part of the story. But anyways, Bryan Cranston's son hits this kid on a motorcycle. Bryan Cranston's son goes over and sees that he is dying. Like there's pretty much not much to do, but he is panicking himself as a kid. and he flees the scene. He flees the scene and tells his dad. His dad, it's like, all right, well, we are morally obligated to turn you in. So they go to turn him in, and they go to the jail. He's like, Bryan Cranston says, you stay in the car. I am going to go in and set everything up. You stay here, and then I'll call you when we're ready. So they go he goes into the jail cell. I mean, to the jail, or police station, and he sees a husband and wife holding each other, crying over them and mourning their son who died. And it was their son was the son that he killed. And he realizes who the mom and dad are. The mom and dad are the big mob bosses of New Orleans. And so he realizes at that time that if he turns his son in, his son is as good as dead, and he might as well be as well. So he changes on a dime and decides to not turn his son in, instead help his son cover up this crime, which crap just keeps unfolding and unfolding and unfolding throughout the whole series. So of it, and Bryan Cranston, it will not be the same character that he started off with, and which is very much like Breaking Bad is my understanding. So if you like that concept, I recommend that to you.
Yeah, I have that on my list. I, however, watched The Woman in the Window Across the Street from the Little Girl or whatever instead. And before Tim goes, I'm just curious. So you told me watch up to episode 4 and then try to see if you could figure out who. Mm-hmm. Now, my question now is why?
Why?
Because
we were trying to me and Casson were trying to figure out if you could, if you would be able to figure out that one of who was the murderer.
Oh,
that's all.
Okay. All right. I thought there was like
no,
like, you know,
because it was definitely, I thought it was a more difficult one, but apparently not.
Because I was just thinking, this is the only obvious one. Like it's so obvious it shouldn't be, but then the plausibility of it being anybody else doesn't make sense. And then at the very end, they give you kind of a twist where it's just like, well, maybe I was wrong. And then I'm like, but if I was wrong, that still doesn't make any sense. So the only one I picked was the one that was the only one that made sense out of anything.
Well, I just kept on leaning to the ones at the movie. I'm more of like a sheep when it comes to these kind of movies. Most of the time, if the director points me to a certain person as the suspect, I tend to go, okay, unless it's just too obvious that it's ridiculous, then I'm like, But when they do this back and forth, like, is it, isn't it, isn't it, isn't it? And I'm like, okay, it probably will turn out to be them.
I mean, the only way I was ever going to feel as though I was going to be wrong for my pick is if what's-her-face's character
was like psychotic,
was basically delusional, and nobody ever died ever.
Yeah.
Like that would be the only way that I would have been like, okay, she's wrong. But you said you need to pick out who the murderer is. So I felt as though, okay, there is a murder. You
should just be a detective, Brett, because I feel like you could see through all the crap. Because every time I watch a whodunit, it's like I'm like 50-50.
I still need you to tell me if Trapped is worth going to see.
Trapped. I swear I've heard of that.
Trapped, the new M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
They came out with a new trailer this week, and I'm like, I don't know.
Have you seen it, Brett?
Nope.
Didn't one of you see an M. Night Shyamalan movie recently?
I saw the cabin in the woods thing, and it wasn't bad, but it was just like,
I may just have you tell me what that is.
I'll tell you.
I just want to know what it is.
The best M. Night movie is Devil. It takes place in an elevator, and you don't get Shyamalan at the very end. Trapped is going to be one of those like, oh, he trapped me yet again. It's going to be blah.
But the second trailer looked a little bit better than the first trailer.
I know. And here's what I'll say. The first trailer looked really good, and I feel he has garnered untrust, in my opinion.
Is it because of who he casts?
No, it's because of who he is. But no, yeah, I agree. Trapped looks good, and once again, the one with the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy and the cabin one.
Mm-hmm.
That one also I want to watch, but it's like, no, I do not want to be Shyamalan.
I don't feel as though you'll get Shyamalan. There is a movie that I was just like, I feel as though is very similar to, what is it? Not The Fog. No.
The Fog was lame. I forgot it. I practically deleted it from my memory.
No, not the one with Tom Welling.
Okay.
There's another one. It's a Stephen King movie. Anyway, it's kind of like The Fog, but different. Anyway.
I started watching the M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender, and
I've heard that sucks.
I got about 40 minutes into it, and it's pretty bad.
I watched this TikTok about like the gap between Harry Potter 2 and 3, and like first of all, they needed to find a new not Gandalf. What's his name?
Professor.
No, not Professor. Is it
Yeah.
Professor?
I don't know.
The principal. Let's just call him that.
The headmaster.
Why can't I think of his name? Wow, brain's not working.
Okay.
Anyway, so they had to find a new one because he died. The previous
Dumbledore.
yeah. And then they also had to find a new director because the director was saying,
Chris Columbus, yeah.
it was like, I'm done. I'm gonna go do other projects. And so they were going out to look at all these other directors. And one of them that they tried to tap was M. Night Shyamalan. I'm like, ooh. You dodged a bullet.
Yeah,
there.
you did.
Because I think he said no.
I think Chris Columbus left to direct, what's it called? The Percy Jackson?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I had heard a rumor because HBO is getting ready to do their series of the books. And the interesting thing is they want to kind of keep them around the same age, which is scary because they're going to either have to kick out these series nearly on a yearly basis, or they are going to have to recast the actors within the series.
Or they just film everything at once and then they release it all, like in like little spurts every year.
Mm-hmm.
Or this is what they should do. And I was thinking about this the other day. They should just do a prequel of Harry Potter and follow his parents. I feel like that would be a fun.
I'd be interested to see the Cursed Child though, like the one after the Deathly Hallows.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be curious to know because I mean the characters are at that age now.
Yeah.
Right now, so I don't see why it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, not much of them are working.
I watched the Fantastic Beasts movies and
I hate those.
The first one's okay, but the second two were just like.
I didn't realize I hadn't seen the first one until I saw the second one. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on.
That's a sign of a bad movie when even the sequel like can't stand on its own in some sense. Like I understand you should watch the first one, but it should make it possible not to.
Going back to Bryan Cranston, though, I heard a rumor that he might be up for the role of Professor X in the new X-Men movie.
That'd be interesting. I like his attitude.
I mean, could he? I mean, he's already been what's his face from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Do you think?
Zordon?
Yeah, Zordon. Yeah.
I mean, that's the wise.
He was
person.
Zordon.
Yeah.
In the Elizabeth Banks one.
That's
funny.
He could be.
All right, Kurt, what is your recommendation?
My recommendation is I don't think I told you I got this because it was during our hiatus. Yes, it was. But I'm going to recommend SodaStream.
Yep. I like SodaStream.
I got one. I got it for a Father's Day gift.
Ooh, what's your flavor?
Well, we're trying as many flavors as we can get our hands on.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the one I had today was Mountain Dew. But I mean, I haven't tried like the bubbly or is it the bubbly or the ripoff?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Versions of
If you want, you can have some of mine. I don't really care for them.
But there's those. We haven't tried those yet. We got like the ripoff version of the Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pete.
Dr. Pete is good. Just don't expect it to taste like Dr. Pepper.
The root beer is actually not bad.
Yeah, root beer is not bad. Sprite's awful.
The what?
I don't like the Sprite at all.
The Starry?
No, not Starry. Like their version of Sprite.
Of Starry? Oh, like lemon lime?
Yeah.
Starry's not bad.
Okay. I don't like Starry to begin with.
We get the Starry Zero, so it kind of reminds me of Sprite. So
Okay.
it's, whatever. The obviously Mountain Dew is really good. I have the Diet Mountain Dew, but I haven't tried it yet. We got the Pepsi, the Diet Pepsi.
How do the Pepsis taste?
Zero. We have the Diet Pepsi tastes like Diet Pepsi.
Okay.
We haven't done the Pepsi yet or the Pepsi Zero. We're getting to them slowly.
Yeah, I think it's a good purchase too.
It's cool because you are essentially you're behind everything. How much fizz you want in your drink, how much flavoring you want in your drink. You are in control of that whole process. So if you're very picky about how you want your bubbly drink, you decide how much you want it. You decide at any level how you want it. It's really cool. And I like that there's no plug. Like the one I got, there's no power.
Yeah.
You just push the button, it puts in the card. And it's cool that you can recycle your CO2 tanks and get a rebate on them. That's kind of cool.
Yep. I like those. I like also if you ever buy a Mountain Dew and then you're like, it's flat, you could just throw it back in and just recarbonate it.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
And then also, if you feel randy, you can do it to like juices too. You can carbonate orange juice or apple juice or whatever.
Yeah. So it's a really fun product. And it's just something a little different. You're turning your kitchen into a little science factory.
Yep. I approve this message.
Not a sponsor.